Hey folks, this is James coming to you from the barn in Fort Worth. Hopefully you've been watching our videos. Be patient with us. We're learning how to do all this. We do know how to grow food, but the video aspect we're learning, so be careful. What I'm going to do today is show you how to develop slips for sweet potatoes. We need to get sweet potatoes in the ground here fairly soon. Here in Fort Worth, I'd say the end of May, 1st of June. You want it to be where the temperature is above 50. They like heat, so here we have plenty of heat. But if you're in other areas of the country where you don't have as much heat, you can still plant sweet potatoes and get a good crop. You just need to get something that develops a little quicker, like Georgia Jet, possibly Beauregard. There's a couple others that I can mention. If you have any questions, you can email me. But what I'm doing today, there's a lot of people have heard about the blue study that goes on. They have blue zones throughout the world where people live longer than other places. One of the main ones they mention all the time is Okinawa. And the biggest difference they find in Okinawa, yes, it's an agrarian area, yes, it's a little bit more relaxed, but they don't grow rice there because of the soil. There's not the structure for growing rice. And so as a result of that, they've become experts at growing a sweet potato, yam, whatever you might call it. And what the ones they grow have a purple interior and kind of a tan or white exterior like this. That's what this is. And these particular potatoes are extremely high in antioxidants. So what I'm going to do today is we're getting ready to plant. I'll be planting like the end of May, sometime maybe the 1st of June. And then when I plant, I'll be taking the slips. The slips, you can take this, you can put it in a jar. Some of you have done this when you were kids with avocados and put toothpicks around about it, set it where there's a little bit of water in the bottom, and then you watch, and then you find little starts coming off the top. Well, that works, but but it's just getting water. There's no nutrient to it. I like to have where anything I'm planting is nutrient dense and rich, even when I'm just doing the starts, because the healthier the start, the healthier the potato, the healthier I am when I eat it. So what I've done is I've just got some potting soil that I use for some of my perennials around here. This one has a little bit of vermiculite in it, which I normally don't use, but it has some in it. It's compost, and it's also some pine bark mulch. Here in Texas, everything is pretty alkaline because we're on top of a huge amount of limestone. So you want to manage the pH. And as you've probably heard me say a million times, and you'll hear a million times more, the big key is the microbes. The microbes will help to neutralize the pH. But in the meantime, if you add a little bit of like the pine bark mulch, it helps to make it where it'll help to neutralize the pH a little bit better because it's more acidic. But with these potatoes now, you just lay them in here. See how I'm doing this? Lay them in here. You can see the length of it. See if I can find another one that's about the right length. Put it here. Okay. And put this one here. And sweet potatoes are amazing. And I'm going to show you more information on sweet potatoes. I'll take you through the whole process of getting the slips, planting them, and then watching throughout the season. I put mine in June, and I have greens developing June, July, August, September, October, 5 months. And each week you can go out, and it seems like you're decimating it because it produces so much foliage. But cut that foliage back, put it in your salads, steam it like you would spinach. It's extremely nutritional, and you get meal after meal after meal, 5 months worth. And you can do it 2-3 times a week. And then the sweet potatoes themselves, the tubers, when you harvest them after the first frost at the end of October, 1st of November, most of the time they're like, the cherry on top of the ice cream. They're just the excess over and above because you're able to get a good, strong staple that's very good for you all throughout the seasons. Other parts of the world eat a lot of sweet potatoes and they eat the greens. There's nations in Africa that survive off of them. The Vietnamese are very big on eating greens of the various greens, but of the greens of the sweet potato. It's very healthy for you. We don't do that. We need to, folks. It's something that's very nutritious for us, and it's something that's very available as you plant the sweet potatoes, and it produces month after month for 5 months. So let's think in terms of that. Now here, what I'm doing is I'm putting in the various different sweet potatoes, and I got the long ones because I wanted to be able to have these in the box. But I'm going to put them down in here like this, and then I'm just going to cover them, okay? And what happens with those, here, let me get a little bit more soil. I'm going to water them. I'll put in a little bit of humate on it, and obviously I'll water them with my microbes. And the microbes help everything to germinate a little bit faster and to stay healthy because it fights off the pathogens. But we don't have to have this that deep, just a little bit on this. And I'll just pour the rest of it in. And that's it. Now we'll water these, and then what happens, you'll see in the future, probably in about a week I'll do another video, but in the future, what's going to happen, you'll see a plant, a plant, a plant, a plant, a plant, and we can get, gosh, 10 to 20 little plants on top of here. Those are what they call slips. When you go in and buy sweet potato slips, they come in a bundle. They look all half dead most of the time when I get them in, but they're extremely hardy. And what it is, it's those slips, and when they get big enough, you cut them off, and then you put them in water for a couple days, and they begin to root. Then you take those and plant those in the ground, and that's what over time produces the sweet potatoes. Pretty simple, but a great concept. Another thing that people don't think about is the foliage is pretty. A lot of people around here get ornamental sweet potatoes and put those in with colored flowers for their pots, just for beautification. Well, these sweet potatoes will produce an abundance of foliage, and if you want to, you can take one of these instead of planting all of them and put that in a pot and use it as a house plant if you have a place where you get plenty of sun. And then the next season, you don't have to start all over with sweet potato slips. You can just cut them off and plant them, and away you go. You're on it again. But that's what you look at with sweet potatoes. And then the sweet potatoes get anywhere from that size to like this boy, a little fat boy. I got these guys because I'm wanting to eat these. And the other one, I got two of these, and then I've got a couple more of the other sweet potatoes. These sweet potatoes, like I said, you should be able to get, minimum of 5, but anywhere from probably 8 to 15 slips off of each one of these, and that's a plant. And you plant them anywhere from 12 to 16 inches, which I'll show you later, and those will begin to be the things for the sweet potatoes. I say the things, the garden bed for the sweet potatoes that will begin to produce an abundance of foliage that you can eat for 5 months, and at the end you get these sweet potatoes that are extremely healthy for you. They're very, very tasty, and you can put them up and have them throughout the winter time. Sounds like a pretty good deal, doesn't it? And you don't overwater them. You just keep them moist. I'll show you with this right now. And you just pour some water in. It doesn't have to be, not rocket science. I'll come back and I'll spray them again with my microbes just because the microbes are amazing. And that's it. And we'll come back around here. Here's little guys trying to sneak in. We'll come back around here probably in about a week, and we'll show you the slips. Now the slips, you can get them where they're only maybe 3, 4, 5 inches high, but the bigger the slips, the stronger the plant. And so what I usually like to do is maybe get them 7 to 8 inches long, and then let those root out. Just take a jar, you could take like this watering can, put those in there after you cut them off the potatoes, let them root out, and then I would put a little bit of my soil feeder microbes in there that'll help them to root out. And as they root out, then you have strong roots, you have a strong stalk for the plant, you put it in the ground, and away you go. Okay? So hopefully you'll grow sweet potatoes. They're a great crop to do. They reward you over and over with the greens. And at the end of the time, there's nothing like a good sweet potato casserole, or I just like to eat them just baked. And they're very, very caramelized. They're wonderful, wonderful things to eat. Highly in nutrition and very nutrient dense, especially if you're growing in your own food and your own soil. And if you're not, you need to. So hopefully you'll begin to watch what we're doing here and other people are posting, and begin to get involved in your local community, supporting local food from local farmers. That will keep things safe within your area and keep the prices within reason, and then begin to grow. And if everyone grows and puts in a garden, whatever degree it is, you will have abundance in something if you keep it up. And if you may not have it in everything, but you'll have at least 1 or 2 crops that are producing well. If you share that with 4 or 5 other people, guess what? You all have meals, and you're able to eat without being subject to the high prices that are going on, or the lack of availability, which is beginning to happen, you're going to see even more so because all the farms being purchased and all the lack of workers to be able to be available to work in the fields. So hopefully this has inspired you to grow sweet potatoes. And if it's not, we'll continue to come back to you and talk to you about it more because we're going to show you the progression that takes place within the sweet potatoes all the way to like October, November, when I come back and harvest them. So hopefully you're having a great weekend, and I hope to see you back here soon. If you can, share this with somebody else, and if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel. We really feel like we have a mandate to get this knowledge out to as many people as we can. Not just sweet potatoes, but just growing your own food and being at where you can be a little bit more self-sufficient in your community. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye now.